What you are about to see and hear is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions expressed on the show are our opinions and do not reflect the views of BTW 21 or its staff. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel and Chad.
God is looking for someone real. People are looking for something real. Just be real. Welcome to the Be Real Podcast. We're your host, Daniel Lewis, Brother Chad Hudson.
Hello.
Back again, once again, here in this April of 2024, Season 2, Episode 60.
Episode 60?
Episode
right.
60, right. We're just about as old as our episodes, man.
Whew, getting there.
We got Peckerhead with us. Not our special guest, but he's the old
Chicken.
He's the rooster.
He is a special guest.
He is a special guest. He's always special every week. So, Peckerhead, thank you for being here on the Be Real Podcast. He don't say much, but he don't have to say anything.
No.
all
But our
us.
guest does. And she wants to. So
And
who
she wants
is
to.
she?
Who is our
Let her
special?
talk.
Look, we got Peckerhead. Look, the
Oh,
rooster.
there he is. He got
There he
name
is.
Wait.
This is
Put it back on Peckerhead. You don't
she's
need to
not
see me.
Peckerhead.
You
No,
don't need to see me.
There she is.
she is Montana Kimrey, and she is from the Ronald McDonald house. And so, thank you so much for coming here. We greatly appreciate you so much and the work that you do. We want to find out all about you. Me and him, he was asking me questions. I was asking him questions. I said, I'm glad she's coming on because we got some questions to ask, if that's okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah, and all the way down from Roanoke.
Yep.
Yeah, so
About
you-
45 minutes.
Yeah, it's a good little ride, and it's a beautiful ride. Thank God for beautiful weather.
It is. And
I'm glad
it's
it.
nice.
Yeah, I'm
Super
glad it.
nice outside.
Right, I'm glad it wasn't raining or 220 can be a little bit.
Back and forth.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. I've taken that trip many a times going up to Rocky Mountain, also Roanoke, which I love Roanoke myself. But anyway, a little bit about you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Montana Kimrey.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. I moved to Roanoke about 3 years ago.
Okay.
I've been in nonprofit since I got out of college. Been with the Ronald McDonald House a little more than a year now. I love my job. I have the best job in the world. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. So from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yep.
So you're a Carolina girl.
Oh yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
Love
I
me some
love it.
Carolina barbecue, Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Oh yeah.
I love some Krispy Kreme.
Now, there's a Ronald McDonald house in Roanoke, and there's one in Charlotte. What's that? Durham?
Durham. In Virginia, we have Charlottesville, Richmond, and Norfolk, and then us. So there's 4 in Virginia. Gosh, there's a bunch in North Carolina, Durham,
Charlotte had
Piedmont
one.
Triad, Charlotte, anywhere there's, and this goes, it's a pretty, across the board set rule that anywhere there's a big hospital, there's going to be a Ronald McDonald House.
Okay. So you
makes
go around
sense.
the big hospitals. What do you call those? Like cardiac wards, or just anything?
Yeah,
is it
any
just
level 1 hospital.
level 1. That's what I
Yeah.
was looking for there.
That's pretty standard. Roanoke with Curley Memorial
Right.
is a hub for where a lot of people get transferred to, especially coming from West Virginia, this area in particular.
Right.
It's the closest one.
Helicopter air flights going in their air care and all of them. Yeah.
And they're only expanding and growing. So we
Yes.
foresee.
You go to any of these, and there's always construction going on.
Yes.
Oh, they got a new tower.
Yep.
Oh, they got another tower over here, and they got
Yeah.
another place over here.
They've been working on, Crillian has been working on the Crystal Springs Tower. I don't know if either of you have seen it. It's beautiful.
Really?
And it's really come together the last 2 or 3 months. They're putting the windows on it, so
Oh, okay.
doing the final touches. So hopefully they'll be in it within the year.
Right,
So
right. Well, before we get into the Ronald McDonald House, because I got a ton of questions about that, because I want also for our viewers that are watching a little bit more in-depth information. Everybody kind of knows that somebody that's been there. But just about you, well, before we start out at the beginning, if you want to, tell us a little bit about, you're from Charlotte. You went to college for your major?
Not in anything I'm doing.
That's usually the case.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what your passion is. Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of along those lines. I went to UNC Charlotte.
Okay,
and
that's what I was going to ask you first. What was the actual
Go
college?
Niners.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I majored in Japanese, the language.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to speak some Japanese here in a little bit?
Oh, I don't know.
A couple words?
I can.
Yeah,
Okay,
do
we'll
it. Do it right now.
Do it now.
Yeah, that's it.
はじめまして、モンタナと申します。
Oh,
That's the introduction, but
cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, that is cool,
Yeah.
man.
You have a nice accent with it too, so they
yeah, I lived there
pronunciation. Oh, really?
I lived there for a little over a year, so I had to learn because there
So
was
you
no
went
other
to
option.
Japan.
Yeah, I was actually there right before COVID, so I went in 2019, and then my program was supposed to be until July of 2020.
Yeah.
That did not happen.
Right.
COVID kind of ruined that.
It's a little wrench in there.
Yeah, so I was brought home March of 2020.
So it was kind of like an internship or
It was
just
with-
a student?
yeah, study abroad
Okay,
experience.
cool.
Yeah,
Huh,
with school.
That's wild.
Well, see, that blows my mind because I ain't been past the mailbox. So when somebody says they've been to Japan, it's like, holy mackerel, you know. Grandpa went over there, but it wasn't with good reasons. But anyway, it's what got you interested in the Japanese culture or whatever? I mean, you know, is it just an elective and all of a sudden you're over there, or did you actually enjoy?
So I had a friend growing up. She was Japanese,
Yeah.
and she eventually ended up moving back over there, and we were kind of pen pals, and
Nice.
just stayed friends for a really long time. And I mean, we're still really good friends now.
Well, great.
And when I graduated college, I thought I wanted to do something pre-med. Very quickly, I decided I didn't want to do that. But I knew I wanted to do something helping people
Yes.
and being involved with people and hearing people's stories. That's what I was passionate about. And so I was like, well, a great way to do that and hear a, very different side of the pond stories is learning a language.
Yes.
So that's what I.
So you
what
had
got
this
me
really
started.
good friend, and she's Japanese. So hey, I can kind of feed off of her, I guess you could say.
And
That's
they-
what I would want to do.
Yeah. And they have really cool culture. The food's
Awesome,
great.
right. Yeah,
the
they do.
people are wonderful.
Yes.
So
Very clean.
Yes.
So I've heard. I've had some people that's went over there, and, to Japan and Tokyo and all that places, and they say it's just extremely clean
yeah, it's really
compared to
really
American cities.
that. And, yeah, that and really really safe too. So
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a neat culture. So you come back over here, and then you're still going through college.
Yeah, so I finished my senior year all online, and as a language major, I do not recommend doing that. Trying
That
to
would be rough.
Yeah, figure out how to speak a language over Zoom was not the move.
No.
So I did that, finished college, and I was like, okay, well, what's plan B? Because COVID is still very much a thing, and at that time they hadn't really eased restrictions here a lot. Definitely not there. And so I was like, well, I'm stuck here. What's plan B? And so I kind of took a step back and punted and realized, okay, well, I still want to do something where I can help people and
Right.
hear their stories and just, I don't know.
You've always
Yeah.
had the heart to help other people.
Yeah, just be a productive member of society and make the world a better place.
Right.
So,
So who gave you that heart? Your mom and dad? Is that where you kind of got that from?
Yeah, we grew up in the church and
Awesome,
and
yes.
volunteering and
Right.
from a very young age, one of my core memories is Christmas Eve. We always used to go serve a hot meal at the soup kitchen,
Nice.
the local one where we were from, and it gave me a lot of perspective on the world, and
You see different people and where they're at
Yeah.
in their lives. It's like, wait a minute.
it makes you count your blessings.
Yes,
for sure.
amen.
It can humble you very,
For
very
real.
quickly.
Right.
So, having that that kind heart definitely came from my mom and my dad. Both of them give you the shirt off their back and do anything for you. So
that's cool stuff. I love it. I love it. So where did you start graduating and then?
Yep. So I knew I didn't want to stay in Charlotte. No offense.
Why not? Why not?
There's a lot of people there, and I was getting real tired of sitting in 20 minutes of traffic to go to the grocery store.
Ooh.
So I still love to visit.
Yeah.
The key word is visit. So
in and out.
Yep.
Please. Hopefully.
So I was like, well, I had come through Roanoke before, and was like, okay, this is a really cool little town. It's really quaint and
Snuggled
growing.
in the mountains.
And so I came up here, me and my friends did like an Airbnb one weekend and got to explore the city, and I fell in love, and I was like, this is where I want to be.
Really good people up there too.
Yeah.
I've always liked Roanoke.
It's just too much city for me.
Yeah,
you were describing it as a little town, and I'm going, what? No, I can't.
Compared to Charlotte. Compared to Charlotte.
I know that's right. I had a friend in high school that it was in the earlier 90s, and Charlotte was really picking up and really booming at that time. So I could only imagine, and I haven't been down there since, but I could only imagine, that was 30 years ago. So I could, but a little town, Roanoke, I don't, that's not what I'd call it. We're from, I know you came in and you came down 220 and you came into Martinsville, where Daniel and I live is even smaller than that. Yeah. By a lot. But I am glad that you're out there doing good things. That Japanese, that still got me.
I know. I love that. I love it. You never know who you're going to talk to.
And then they're like, oh, I know Japanese.
Yeah. Konnichiwa.
There you go. That's all you need to know. Yeah. All you need to know. Give him his degree.
But our guest, this is probably the fourth guest that we've had in the last month or so that has really talked about COVID and how much that changed their direction in life. And I felt that myself a couple years ago, and we've, it changed us all. But it's really continuous in these stories of people making their life decisions that's altered it and changed it. And I'm sure trying to get a degree in speech there or in language, it's got to be very hard to do it over a Zoom meeting. Daniel was telling me he was on a Zoom meeting not too long ago, and he was videoing the fan or something. Oops. His ceiling fan was on for the last hour or whatever.
Right.
So,
yes.
The changes that we've had to make is crazy. Yeah, so now, Ronald McDonald House.
Yes. Let's get into it.
My first question for the Ronald McDonald House is that affiliated with McDonald's?
It is.
Okay.
Have either of you actually heard the story about how Ronald McDonald House came to be? Because it's pretty interesting.
No, I
know a tad, but yeah, we want to hear it for the guest. For the audience also.
Absolutely.
I know just a little bit, and it's probably not accurate.
Well,
Google.
Everyone knows a little something.
A little something.
It was 1973. Fred Hill was a tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles. Huh. Him and his wife had a daughter, 3-year-old daughter, and they just realized she had leukemia. She had been diagnosed with leukemia. And so, you do what any two parents can do. Took her to treatment and local hospitals and sometimes further away hospitals were sleeping in their car and eating out of vending machines and just, doing what they had to do to take care of their daughter. And, after she recovered, Fred went back to his team and kind of was telling him his experience. And he started, through the whole thing, when you're in that kind of situation, you start to question, why me? And, you feel like you're the only one that's been dealt this really crappy hand of cards. Mm-hmm. And, he started to look around and he realized, oh, it's not just me. There are so many other families and moms and dads that are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And probably not with the resources that he had.
Exactly.
You talk about a professional sports. He probably had a little bit more money than the average Joe.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, not a lot in 73, but,
Yeah.
but I'm sure some, you know,
So he went back to his team and said, you know, I want to do something to help people that are going through this situation, because they should not have to do what we did and what so many people are still doing. So the Philadelphia Eagles, they came up with an idea of what they wanted to do. They did a big telethon and raised a bunch of money, and they said, okay, well, what are we going to do with this money? And meanwhile, while they're doing this telethon, McDonald's came out with the Shamrock Shakes, the green Shamrock Shakes.
Really?
And McDonald's kind of caught wind of what they were doing and said, well, we'll give you a quarter for every Shamrock Shake we sell.
Huh.
And so that was kind of McDonald's first tie-in
With
to the team.
trying to help.
Yep. And so essentially they, you know, partnered with CHOP, which was the Child's Hospital in Philadelphia, and they came up with this idea of a home away from home for families that are battling pediatric
Ain't
illness.
that awesome?
And so they, you know, started construction on the house. They found the 7-bedroom house in downtown Philly next to the hospital.
Really?
Renovated the whole thing with that money that they had raised. And they were getting ready to open the doors, and they're like, what are we going to call this? Like, we need a name. So, and McDonald's still had a lot of tie-ins and was doing a lot to help fund the project. And they'll, you know, also around the same time, that's when Ronald the Clown had come out.
We talked about him earlier.
Yep.
He was a scary individual back in those days.
Oh yeah, they've made him a lot more friendly. And,
Yes.
You know, they were like, okay, kids, you know, the clown, McDonald's, it all
Yeah.
kind of makes sense. So
Something they recognize, you know.
Yeah,
Not just for
exactly.
the parents, but for them.
exactly, and make it not such a scary place that they're
Right.
going to. So
Right.
that's where Ronald
Ronald
McDonald's
McDonald.
name came from.
Ain't that
So,
something?
yeah.
Started in Philly.
Yeah.
Huh. That is wild stuff.
Yeah, so
Wow.
the first house was built in 1974. The house in Roanoke was built in 84, so we're 10 years directly
Yeah, just
after.
a decade.
Yep.
So one of the first ones, or
think
after
I
that?
want to say
or-
we were the 60-something house.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So they really got to move on.
Yeah, they started popping up like wildfire because it was such a need in the community.
Right,
And
yes.
people, you know, grabbed onto the idea. McDonald's was behind it. And each house functions as an independent 501c3. So they're completely run and operated independently. So we have a mother organization, RMHC, but each house does their whole thing, fundraises,
Independently.
does the whole thing. So it's,
That's cool too.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
really helps.
yeah,
I would
for
say.
sure.
Man, whoever come up with that, God bless them with that idea, because, I mean, just like you said, when he first started out with what that player was going through with his child with leukemia, you already got that burden. It's not a burden. Well, it is a burden. I mean, you got all that on you already.
Yeah, a
If
lot of
anybody's ever
stress.
had a child that's been sick with just anything, you already got that stress. And then you got to figure out, you know, how are we going to afford to be able to stay? And like you said, the bigger hospitals is where you need to stay. And when a lot of us don't live near the big hospitals, we're very rural. And so, I mean, even just an hour and a half away from Stewart, where we are from, Patrick County, I mean, that's travel expenses, staying in a motel every day. You just don't know how long they're going to be there or anything. And so the worry and the stress of not only the disease, but the worry and the stress of financially, how are we going to do this?
Yep. And
You know?
there's so much that goes into it. How are we gonna eat? Because we can't
Right.
afford to eat out every night.
Yes.
How are we gonna do laundry? There's a lot that goes into it, especially when you're in these situations that you may have to. It may not be just a week you're staying or a month. It may be months on end.
Right.
So the longest stay we've had at our house is 211 days straight.
Really?
So if
Almost a whole year.
yeah, you've got to think that place is more of a home to them than probably
Right.
their
Own
normal home is.
Yeah, just kind of
So,
get used to being there.
yeah,
kind of.
there's a lot that goes into it and a lot of stress that these families are under in addition to their situation. And kind of what we tell people is we can't change what's going on at the hospital. We can't change the situation
diagnosis.
of their child, but we can give them a warm place to lay their head, a hot shower, a hot meal, and just in an environment where people are going through the same thing and understand the situation. So.
Right. Now, where's it located in Roanoke? I'm not too familiar with it.
So if you know where Carillion Memorial is,
Yes.
it's on the corner of 23rd and Jefferson. We're about 3 blocks from the hospital.
Oh,
super, super close.
Super close.
Yeah. So
right.
it's in the Crystal Springs neighborhood, if you know where that is.
Well,
No, I don't.
You just keep going past the hospital and you'll run into it.
okay.
But you got to be looking for our house because we blend into the neighborhood really, really well.
That's cool.
So,
Yeah, that's kind of cool, too.
It's
Yeah.
very like the English Tudor style.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about the house,
Yeah.
like bedrooms or size?
That's what I was going to ask. Is it just one house for one family, or is it multiple places? Or
So we actually have 2 different services that we offer, the house and then the family room. So the house is a place where people can come if you have a pediatric child that, has to be hospitalized, whether it's Lewis Gale or Carillion. Most of them are Carillion because of the location. You have to be eligible to stay at the house, you have to be living 25 miles outside of the radius of the house.
Gotcha.
So that is essentially to be able, we want to serve those that have that hurdle and that boundary of getting access to medical treatment for their child and being able to stay with them throughout the whole treatment.
Right.
So if you're in Roanoke or Salem or Benton, you don't need to stay at the house. You live
Right down
in
the
the
road.
community.
Yes.
But if you're from Martinsville or God forbid, like West Virginia somewhere, you
Yeah.
can't make that trip every single day.
No.
Hours and hours in the car. It's way, way, way too much. So
Right.
that's our first service. And then we also have the Ronald McDonald House Family Room. It's on the 14th floor of the hospital. It's an area, a little room where families can, whether you're local or staying at the house, it doesn't matter. If you have a pediatric child, you can use that room. Essentially, it's a place for people to step away from the bedside of their child, just have a minute to think, get a cup of coffee, use the computer if you need to use the computer. Hospitals are a busy place, and just having a quiet place to think that's not a waiting room with everyone else in
Right.
it.
Or even the cafeteria. I mean, there's
yeah.
still a lot of traffic.
Exactly. So
So
it's
to
just
say.
a place to have some respite, but still be really close to your child's bedside. So if you need to go back.
Now, is that something y'all do in conjunction with the hospital? I mean, did they provide that for y'all, or how does that actually work? Do you know?
Yeah, so our partnership with Carillion, it has to be tight knit. We're looking after the families of their patients.
Yes.
So
Right.
they allow us to use that space.
Awesome.
And Carillion actually owns our house and donates the mortgage or the use of the
Really?
house. So
Oh,
yeah,
see, I
they
love
do-
putting that out because that's great.
yeah,
that's awesome.
They do transport of our families back
Really?
and forth to the house, so you're not having to walk in the rain, or even if it's nice out and you need to go back and forth to the hospital.
They'll shuttle you
they
back
shuttle
and forth.
back and forth.
Ain't
So
that great?
we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
And there's so many cogs in the machine that is the Ronald McDonald House. It takes quite literally a village to run, and
Right.
we acknowledge that, and really, really just thank the people that keep that machine up and going.
Right, keep it
So,
going. Yeah, we come from a community out there in Patrick County. Whenever somebody has a need or whatever, you can just see the community coming together. So that's great when you have a big city, because sometimes you go to these bigger cities.
No, she said little town.
Well, I said little town. Sometimes when you go to these little towns, sometimes when you go to these bigger cities, you kind of feel like it's so many different people and so many people that it's not that tight knit. But then you have these businesses, which they are businesses, but you got people with heart, Carillion, Ronald McDonald House, like you said, there's a bunch of them doing this. That it's amazing. They actually care. I mean, there's got to be somebody that cared to be able to finance it because it's not cheap.
No, it's not.
And you're talking about a whole, I mean, not a whole floor, but you're talking about a pretty good large, they could have somebody in there paying, but they have this room that's available for families to be able to come in on the 14th floor.
14th floor.
That's just awesome.
And it's all run and operated by volunteers of the Ronald McDonald House.
See.
So we have someone in there pretty much anytime it's open that can help you, grab a breakfast biscuit or some, warm up whatever you may have. Need a cup of coffee.
How these volunteers come about? Do you recruit them, or, I mean, it's just people...
We do. Sometimes they find us.
Yeah, just wanting to give back, and hey.
It's a great activity, especially if you're retired or if you're not working anymore and still want to do something to give back to the community and just be involved. It's a great way to do it. And I don't know, it just gives you a lot of fulfillment.
It does.
Well, that's another thing on several guests here lately is the talk of volunteers. Mm-hmm. We had the fire department. They were talking about volunteers. The VFW was talking about volunteer. Pretty much 80% of our guests has been volunteer associated in some way. Daniel himself is a coordinator of volunteers. So you need them people. And those people do care.
They do.
I think a lot of people in small towns get it a little mixed up that everybody in these bigger cities are just out for themselves and they're running around because they feel overwhelmed when they go to them. But if you live there and there's just that much more people wanting to care and contribute to life. So it's not always that dirty old city. There's great people living in these big cities that make it what it is today.
Right.
Absolutely.
You said it perfectly. That's what I was trying to say, and I blew it out the water, but yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I mean, some of these bigger cities, especially when you see them voting blue.
now.
sorry. I mean, it just, and you get in traffic and everybody's me. You just don't think they have the same heart or same care, but there are people. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're humans like we are. And there's people in those communities that care, and then somebody that's working with the Ronald McDonald House or any volunteer organization, it just I love hearing about it. Absolutely. Because you don't hear a lot about it, And so thank you for coming out here and spreading the word on it.
Yeah,
we got us a couple of minutes. We'll be back with you. We'll talk to you some more.
2-minute warning.
Know a little bit. Yeah, I got the 2-minute warning. I want to know a little bit more about the Ronald McDonald House and whatever you'd like to talk about.
Yeah.
If you got some events coming up, I don't know, or if you got something, or how they can donate.
Yeah.
We'll definitely put the links in the bottom if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, we'd like to do that.
Yes, definitely. We had a brother of ours that did a ride for y'all last year. Raised some money, and so we can talk a little bit about that too.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everybody that's contributed. It's a great organization. My dad, he'd given to St. Jude's for years and years and years, and then when he learned about the Ronald McDonald House, and I'm sure he'll watch this too, and it just makes you feel a little bit better about giving and wanting to give too, because what y'all do for families. So thank you so much, Montana.
Absolutely.
We'll be back with you.
Take this moment to subscribe. It really helps, and we greatly appreciate it.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us here on the Be Real, the podcast.
What a break.
What a break. We're your hosts, Daniel Lewis, Brother Chad Hudson, The Rouge.
The Rouge.
The Rouge, Chad Hudson.
It's real.
It's
I was shiny.
It was shiny. She tightened that up for you.
Right. We're good.
Right.
Ronald McDonald House.
Ronald McDonald House. That's what we're talking about today with Montana Kimrey. So glad to have her on here. Very grateful to have her on here because she has had to travel, and we greatly appreciate her. Appreciate whoever has allowed her to come down here, and probably just herself.
Yep, just me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for allowing yourself.
Yes, thank you
you
for allowing yourself.
Thank you for having me.
Right.
It's great.
Shout out to Boys Holland Veterinary Services and also Pet Transport for sponsoring us. And if you'd like to help us out, you can hit that subscribe button. Just like you heard on the little break that we had there, like and subscribe. Don't really have to like. Well, if you like it, you like it. But subscribing really helps us out. It really does. It goes into the YouTube algorithm, and so other people can see it too. And we're just trying to promote local people. We're not getting paid to do this. We're not paying our guests. Sorry. We're not.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
We're just out here having fun, trying to spread the word on some great people doing great things in our community. Local people, local podcast, local places. We just love them. So thank you again to Boyce Holland Veterinary Services right here. And thank you to Pet Transport. So here we are, Montana. Tell us a little bit more about the Ronald McDonald House. There's so much. I want to ask the right questions, but I really don't know where to go with it. But you talked a little bit during the break about y'all just ate with some people.
Yeah, so we actually had a bunch of our McDonald's people, managers, owner-operators.
Franchisees.
Yes. So people, still recognize our name and say, oh, is McDonald's still a thing with you guys? And I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, so
we asked earlier.
they're still our lifetime partners. They do a lot with us. We just finished up Happy Meals for the House, where they donate 10% of all the Happy Meals sold for 5 days.
Really?
Yeah, that was last week. So we finished that up. They do the Shamrock Shakes.
Now, before you go any further, is that localized? Is that just in the Roanoke area, Bassett, Martinsville? How does that work? Because you said that they're all individually operated, 501(c)(3).
Yes. So I don't know how it works for other people
Areas.
Outside of us, but all the Southwest Virginia McDonald's as a collective unit decided that they want to do 10%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I know the Bassett house or the Bassett McDonald's goes to our house.
Nice.
We have 53 McDonald's that throughout the region that support us.
Dang, 53.
Yeah, you can always, if you look at the little boxes that are in the McDonald's, you can always see which house it supports by just reading the box. So,
yeah, I've seen, you're talking about the one with the little slit where you can put your change down in or whatever. Yeah, I've seen those, but I've never paid attention to what house it represents.
Yep, it'll tell you. And we're the Southwest Virginia house, but there's, Bassett and Martinsville really, I guess, is kind of the line, because some people, will travel to North Carolina from here to get care, and then some come up towards us. So it's they kind of try to split the lines by territory of people. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Counties and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you said they came and toured the house?
Yeah, came and had breakfast with us and toured the house, and trying to get them to see the impact
what
that
they're actually
having.
doing.
Yeah, so there's a program at McDonald's called Rounding Up. A lot of places have it nowadays, where if you order a Big Mac and the total's $4.50, you can round up your total, give that extra 50 cents, and that goes back to us as an organization. And a lot of people think, oh, well, this is, going into some big pot, somewhere off in the middle of nowhere, and these people may not see that money. This charity may not ever see that money.
Yeah.
That is not the case with this program. All of the money that those McDonald's raise goes to our house, stays
especially
at our
in
house.
Southwest Virginia.
Exactly. So it's a local program that you can support that stays local.
Well, cool. That makes me feel a whole lot better.
Great information.
Yeah, great information.
Yeah, a lot of
Because I know
people-
Dollar Generals do that too. Would you like to round up? And I'm like, good Lord, no. I'm just, China's got enough money. Which I mean, it's not true. It's probably going to something local and something really good. But that does, with your confirmation, know that, when we do go to this McDonald's and they say, hey, you want to round this up, or you want to throw a little extra change in the little slit thing right there, that it's going to actually something in our community, supporting our community, which I want to support national stuff too. But when it's going locally and it's helping local people, especially people or don't know, but they're in our region, that makes a major difference.
Absolutely.
Major difference when you want to give just, 40 cent, 50 cent, or extra couple bucks or whatever.
And it adds up very, very,
Very quickly. If everybody does that, holy moly.
Yeah, you can do it 365 days a year. There is no, time frame on the rounding up. But they did do big pushes for it throughout the year.
Yeah.
And we kind of got back into doing that program last year, and we were just absolutely blown away with the involvement and the impact, because it's everyone involved. It's the people, buying food at McDonald's. It's the McDonald's owner-operators. It's the staff. So kind of seeing the whole community come together and rally to support our organization is awesome to see.
Well,
so.
we do a lot of traveling, and McDonald's is not really high on the list of stopping.
They don't serve beer.
I'll get right on that.
I've yet to find a McDonald's that has a PBR in it.
Hey,
Hey. Did y'all see that they're getting Krispy Kreme donuts now?
no,
I did not.
Oh yeah, I don't
this
know.
is a Be Real exclusive.
Yeah, well, I think they put it out a while back.
Okay.
But at some point, you're gonna be able to get Krispy Kreme donuts at McDonald's.
At McDonald's.
Wow.
So I don't know when that's coming, but
Yeah, it's coming.
I'll be the first
coming
one.
soon.
Krispy Kreme.
Just what I need. Just what I need. It's either liquid bread or it's Krispy Kreme donuts.
Well, I'll be headed to Roanoke in the morning. Katie, my missus there, is having our sixth child.
Oh my God!
And,
Congratulations.
Yeah, I have 8. I had 2 before I met her, and she had 1 before she met me. But this will be our 6th child together. Awesome. And we used to have them right over here at Martinsville, but Martinsville doesn't have the delivery service anymore. I guess you go in there if it's an emergency.
Oh yeah,
they'll still hook you up.
Yeah, you'll get
But
delivered in an ambulance.
Right.
But you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that. So we'll be headed there in the morning. She's had a little complications, so they're gonna induce her, I think, and take the baby a little bit early. But they measured her out to be 10 pounds, so it's not a real super early.
She's a big
her pictures,
Iris.
big cheeks, big cheeks.
Oh my goodness.
I'm ready to get on here.
I'm going, Dad.
Bring her over and let us see her because we love babies at the house.
Oh, I'm
so
sure.
We'll fawn
I'm
over
sure.
her.
Awesome.
And we've never, knock on wood, praise God, we've
Yes.
never had to use your service. Or any of services like that. We've always had healthy babies, and the only issue I've ever had is my second son busted his appendix, and they had to go in there, and he was toxic. They had to go in there and clean things up, and we spent a week over here at Martinsville Hospital, and I really could have used something like that. I was driving back and forth. I would go into work, get off work, and I just couldn't stand the thought of him staying the night by himself
Right.
at the hospital.
Right.
He was 11 years old. He was a big boy, but still, it was daddy's baby, so
11 is still a baby.
right.
Yes.
So I would drive over there at nighttime, and they gave me a little reclining chair to sleep in. I was appreciative of that, but I could have used, and at the time I was 28 years old, or I was 20. I was young. I was young at the time. I didn't know what was going on. So I could see where not just a place to relax, but a place to, just
Be close.
be close enough to your child, because that just hurt me.
Worry,
Yeah.
worry,
know?
worry,
Yeah.
worry.
That's for sure.
Being away from your child, especially miles and miles away, you don't even want to think about that.
No.
And it's being able to give that gift and not have parents thinking about that burden on top of what they're dealing with already is it's something we're more than happy to provide. So we don't want them, especially when they're there for weeks and months and hopefully
know.
not a year on end, but
Right.
But it happens.
you've
You
got-
get
It
on
happens.
hand, it
yeah,
happens.
and they need to take care of themselves to, in turn, be
Yes.
able to take care of their child.
Yes.
And that's what we're there to do, is to take care of them, so
Right.
they can help their
I've known
babies.
many of people that use that y'all's service, and it's it really truly is a blessing. You always hear positive things, especially since now we have social media, so it's positive. It's always been a great thing. So if anybody out there is looking for something to support, or if you want to volunteer, that's the number one thing I'd say would be the giving of your time, which God has given us, and anybody that gives their time is a true blessing. But if you're able to monetarily support these folks, it's a great thing. That's one thing. Our brother, we talked a little bit before we got to the second half here. He had been doing this bike ride. Well, of course, we ride motorcycles. And he come up with supporting Ronald McDonald House, something for the children, to give back to the children. I didn't know a lot about it. He explained a little bit to us. We'd met your partner, I guess, somebody that filled
Shannon.
in for you. Yeah,
Yes.
Shannon.
Yes.
She answered a lot of questions. You've answered a whole lot more questions, but at the time I was kind of just didn't really know, anything about it except it helped families and it helped kids. So I'm all about it, especially, he is too. Anything that's helping with the kids. But they'd raised $16,000 last year during a motorcycle ride. So do you have a lot of benefit rides like that? I mean, can
Anyone can do
anybody
it.
can do it?
Yeah, just reach out to us. You can go to our website. It's rmhc-swva.org. It's got all of our pictures on it. You can email us if you want someone to come out.
And we'll put those links down.
Hopefully, because I was trying to write it down in my head. What?
.org.
Yeah,
Well, we'll put it down. We'll put it
Perfect.
down below.
Perfect.
It'll be great.
And I mean, we're more than happy to come out there and speak and share a little bit about
Oh, she did.
RMHC.
Yeah, she did a really good, really good job.
That's our executive director. She is so fun.
Yeah, she was. She was really cool.
And I hate that I missed it. I was going to come out to it.
Yeah,
but I was going to Disney for a week.
Nice.
And I was like, do I move my trip? Because I really wanted to.
Don't ever skip out on Disney.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it'll skip out on you.
Yep. That's
What'll happen.
Yeah, Alan is a great guy, and we really
Very much so.
appreciate him doing that for us. And I mean, benefit rides are one way to do it, but if it can be anything. We've had people do strongman competitions for us.
Car wash,
Car
I'm sure.
washes,
Yeah.
bake sales.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be anything. Yard sales. It's every little bit makes a huge difference. Especially when all these people come together.
Yeah. Just usually
to
what
give
you was
back.
talking about, extra 10 cent or 25 cent on a hamburger. When you add all that up, imagine all those hamburgers getting sold every day, fries. I mean, throughout the day. I mean, it adds up.
Absolutely.
And so that's it's just awesome.
It takes a village, and it's everyone. It takes everyone.
It does.
To keep that place up and running. So we really appreciate those that are willing to give their time, to give up their money, to give up their talents. It makes a huge impact.
Can you talk a little bit more about what the house offers as far as where that money is going to?
Yeah. So
if you wouldn't mind, we talked quite a bit about it, but I want to get a little bit more deeper.
Absolutely.
If you would. Yeah.
So the house itself is 40 years old, and we're celebrating our 40th anniversary.
Nice.
The house has 18 rooms. Each room has 2 queen-size beds, private bath, pretty much all of your basic amenities that a hotel would have.
Yeah.
People, when they walk in, when I'm giving tours and stuff, they're like, "Oh, it looks like a really nice hotel room," and I'm like, "Yeah, it does."
But it's a house too. It's not
exactly.
like a big old, hotel.
Yeah, and I always, remind them that, it's all the comforts of a hotel, but these people that are staying here,
It's a home.
Yeah, it's a home to them. They have all the comforts of home, but they also have other people that are staying there that are going through the exact same thing.
Right.
And so, it's not uncommon for me to, walk out into the office one morning and I just see two people from different families sitting together having coffee and tears just running down their face because
Right. I'd be tearing up. I'd be walking around like, cry. I might get emotional.
Oh, I cry in my car a lot.
Emotional.
So,
Right.
but it's just for them to have that, person that quite literally understands what they're going through to be able to talk to and vent to.
And at the same time, I mean, a lot of people go through stuff and then 10 years later, I'm not saying anything different. They can still talk about what they went through, but when you're actually going through it at the same exact time or, within the same area of time, that makes a major difference. It's like, I'm not in this boat alone.
Exactly.
We're rowing this ship together, and, our kids are basically fighting for their lives.
Absolutely.
Right down the road, 3 blocks. So mercy me. Yeah. So anyway, what else about did you talk about meals? They provide meals?
So we do breakfast and lunch. That is pretty much self-serve. We have a full kitchen dining room that they can come in and cook if they want to. just kind of snacks that they can grab and, take to the hospital with them, bag lunches that they can grab and take with them. But we do serve a hot meal every single night. It's called our Meals from the Heart program. It's completely run by volunteers that come in, whether it's, a family that wants to cook or a group of friends, a church group, a business that wants to, do something for the community.
Nice.
But a group of people, we typically say 5, 8 people come in and pretty much cook a meal. They can donate all the food. A lot of people want to give back but can't afford to feed, 50 people that are in the house. They'll say, hey, we want to do a taco bar. We'll bring all the fixins. Can you provide the meat? Absolutely. We have the Virginia Farm Bureau actually donates quarterly meat donations to us.
Wow. Shout out to them.
Yeah. Right. So it's a
awesome.
huge impact
yes.
to be able to give that thing back to the people that want to help.
Right.
Again, so it's very cyclical, but the Meals from the Heart program, being able to feed a hot meal to our families every single night.
What a blaze! Yeah, that is huge.
And
7 days a week.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
That you don't have to worry about cooking a meal.
Yes. Or going out.
Yes.
It's thinking we're in the big city of Roanoke.
Mm-hmm. And I always tell our volunteers that are cooking that I was like, you may not see a whole lot of families because it's usually like 4, 5, 6 o'clock that they may cook. You may see some that, come in for dinner, but a lot of our families just stay at the house or stay at the hospital until 8, 9 o'clock at night until they physically can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I remind them that, when these families coming in, they're going in the fridge, they're pulling out the leftovers, they're heating them up and taking them back to their room. You got to take care of yourself is what you said earlier. Yeah.
You got to take care of yourself.
So it's being able to give that meal to them is huge.
Awesome. Golly. There's just so much. Is there anything else we're missing?
Oh gosh,
I know there's probably.
I could talk for hours about this place.
Let's do it. I love it.
We've got events that are coming up. May 4th, it's the first Saturday in May.
Yeah.
Is our Tab Top Extravaganza.
Saturday after next.
Yeah. So
coming up.
It's a huge community event. Very kind of has like block party vibes.
Yeah.
Bounce houses for kids, face painting, food trucks. Chris's Custard is going to be there, which is awesome. If you've never had it, go try it. It's wonderful. Shameless plug for them. I love them.
Right.
But the whole day is centered around the little pop tops that you can pull off of like soda cans or beer cans or energy drinks, whatever your fancy is.
Had to throw the beer can in there, didn't you?
Yes. Listen, I've collected quite a few as well. So. But a lot of people will collect those and save them throughout the year. And then on that day, bring them. There's a whole little competition that surrounds it. We weigh them and then we put them in this big dumpster. And then at the end of the day, we go turn it into metal salvage. And that's proceeds for the house. We don't make a whole lot of money off of it, but it's a huge way to get people involved and talk about the house. And it's a
competition.
It's a day about bringing people to the house and getting them to see that the house is in their community and helping these people. So come out and support that.
So the Saturday after this one is when it is. What time?
It is from 11 to 3.
11 to 3. And the address?
Is 2224 Southeast Jefferson Street, Roanoke, Virginia.
And just past Carillion if you keep going.
Yep.
Now you go under the bridge or you keep going past the parking garage or you go straight?
You can go over the bridge and you'll be on Jefferson. Just keep going straight and it'll be on the corner of 23rd and Jefferson. It's on your left.
You can look it up. Google Maps. Ronald McDonald House.
Yes.
Boom. Southwest Virginia.
But you'll drive past it if you're not looking for it. We blend in real good. Our parking lot's kind of behind the house, so you can pull in there.
Cool. Bouncy houses, all kinds of stuff.
All different. The Strawberry Festival is going on that same weekend, so come out and go get you some strawberries, and then swing on around.
Don't forget about the Ronald McDonald House.
Well, I've got one more question myself about Ronald McDonald House.
Sure.
Is Ronald McDonald involved? Like the guy? The clown?
The clown.
Does he appear anywhere?
The guy.
Because I've missed him. I haven't seen him in a couple
I haven't
years.
seen him in a while.
He's at our house everywhere.
Yes.
He's in our. If you're in the parking lot, the courtyard looking area in the center. There's a statue in there. There's
Really?
We have him in the basement. He's all over the place.
That's
But
what I
I
like
need
to
to come
hear.
get a selfie with
I
that.
haven't seen him.
yeah.
Well,
I
with the
ain't either.
statue.
It's been a while.
You get a selfie with the statue?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah,
Can you
sure,
selfie?
sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll do that.
Security kick us out of there? No. Okay.
No.
We're going
Can't
to get
kiss
it.
him.
Watch me.
Oh my God.
He used to be down there on in Mount Airy sitting on the bench, and I got in his lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a picture. Well, somebody got a picture of it.
Yeah, we
I don't
have.
normally sit in clowns' laps.
I
but
just haven't seen him in a couple of years, so I
Yeah,
was
it's
just
been a while.
wondering if
He's
he's
still
still
around.
still around.
cool.
Yeah, he's actually coming. The clown is coming to our 40th birthday party.
Nice.
So
84.
So he'll be
they
there?
said 84.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
We'll
40
be,
years.
We'll be 40 this
Wow.
year.
Wow.
So
So he'll be there.
yeah, he'll be there.
Big shoes and all.
Yep, big shoes and all.
All right.
So
Well, he's one of the only clowns that I do trust. I'm not a clown fan, but I do like
me
Ronald
either, but
McDonald.
I'll trust Ronald.
Yeah, I like Ronald.
Ronald.
He's all right.
he
I
does
grew
the
up
good
with
stuff
him.
for the kids. So
Right.
Yep.
As long as he's for the kids, I'm for him.
Yep. Yep.
So we won't even have to get a selfie with the statue. We'll
get
go
the
down there
real-
and get
You
the
come
real
there, get
McCoy.
the real deal.
The real
Oh, man.
The real deal.
Real
gotta do
Ronald.
that.
Oh, yeah.
For real. What else you got coming up? Anything else?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
so-
sure y'all got a pile of things going
Oh
on.
yeah. I mean, there's
Some in
events.
the works.
Events going on always. The other big thing we have coming up in May 17th, is our 40th birthday bash. It's at the Salem Red Sox Stadium.
Oh, wow.
We're doing dinner, cocktails, live music. We have actually three.
Is that on a Saturday?
It's
17th?
on a Friday.
Friday.
We're having some past families that have stayed in our house come and kind of share their story and
Yeah.
talk about the impact of RMHC.
Well, that makes a major difference.
Yeah.
I like that.
When you hear it.
And
yeah.
then finishing the night off with fireworks and
Really?
Yeah.
So it's a big 40th
yeah,
bash.
yeah, we're really excited for this. Still looking for corporate sponsorships for it, but anyone can buy tickets. It's on our website.
Okay. Yeah. We'll have that link too. How much is a ticket, if you don't mind me
I
asking? Do you remember?
believe they are 95.
Oh, that's not too bad then.
yeah, you
You're
can-
supporting a great cause. I mean,
Exactly.
it's, yeah,
And
that's great.
There's a couple tickets as well. I want to say they're 180, so it may be a little bit cheaper to buy a couple's ticket.
So you can dance with Ronald
Yeah.
probably with those ones.
Or if you
That's
have-
backstage pass, Ronald.
Yeah. If you've got a business, you can buy a table too. Shameless
Yeah.
plug.
Hey,
So
there you go.
Right.
Take employees out to eat.
Exactly.
And
Take
you're
your
supporting
clients.
a great cause. It's not like it's going to Trump or Biden. It's actually going to a Ronald McDonald house
Yep.
and helping kids out.
absolutely.
Not none of
So,
these $1,000 meals where you're going and supporting these stupid politicians. But anyway, so anything else?
trying to
Did we
think.
cover
I
everything?
think that's a large
That's
portion of it. I
You've
mean,
said a lot.
I could say so much more.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
if
So
you
you
never-
love your job.
love my job.
Absolutely love it. How
it's
long you been there? A year?
A year?
Yeah,
Yep,
a
a
little over a
year.
year.
Beginning of April was a year.
So you're speaking Japanese, and then all of a sudden you're
Well,
Ronald McDonald.
They've gained a heck of a spokesman. I mean, you're
Right.
You're knowledgeable about
Very
the whole
knowledgeable.
company and about what everybody's doing. That's
Yeah. Like we
Wow,
told her at the
thanks,
break,
Goldberg.
sometimes we got to be in here pulling teeth trying to get people to talk about what they want to talk
right.
about.
She's
You know,
remembering dates and addresses and way above my head. I
Oh,
don't know what
goodness.
Right.
It's easy to do when you love what
You
you
love
do.
what you do.
And
Amen. I can tell that in you.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
it's,
love
I
it.
love what you do. We speak the truth. And as long as you speak the truth, you're okay.
Right.
It doesn't
real.
matter what you say, just be real.
Yeah,
real.
I love
it's
it.
always going to be real. Well, I guess that's the end of it for us. Hate to shut her off, but we'll have all the links below. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can just check it out. I'll get all the links, and also I guess Facebook will have the event for next Saturday and the Saturday after that.
Yep.
We'll just get it all
yeah,
on there.
like us and follow us on Facebook. That's a major hub for our events. We do all the
Stay
social
up to date.
medias, Instagram. Just follow us on socials. That's the easiest way to.
So it's Ronald
to keep
McDonald
us.
House, Southwest
West
Virginia.
SWVA.
SWVA. Cool.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Montana, for
you.
coming out here. Greatly
Thank you,
appreciate
thank
your
you.
time.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
the
very much.
traveling from the
Appreciate it.
big city of Roanoke.
Happy to do it anytime.
Yes,
I love
yes.
Martinsville too.
Love
so.
to have you back. I'm not sure what Mr. Ham's intentions are for the ride this year, but hopefully it's Ronald McDonald House again. If it's not, we'll support whatever it is.
Absolutely.
But I think he thoroughly enjoyed, supporting that. I'm 100% behind it, just like he is. He's just saying he's getting ready to have another baby popping out. He's got 8 of them, so
Oh my goodness.
yeah, we're all behind the babies.
Oh,
babies.
And we got Bikers for Babies here in Martinsville, and I know they'd be behind y'all also. So
Yeah,
greatly appreciate what y'all do, and just
thank you.
appreciate everybody that supports. You know, whether you're buying a hamburger and want to round that change up, or you're a business and you're trying to give back, and especially those franchisees. I didn't know that. The ones that own McDonald's actually coming and touring the place, and they're like, what, 83? Did you say 83 McDonald's? 53?
53, yeah.
53 McDonald's in our Southwest Virginia region that give back to that. That's amazing.
Yeah, our owner
and
operators are
that's an option.
wonderful.
That's an option that the owner operator has.
Yes.
They don't have to do that.
Absolutely.
But like you said, if you go in there and you see where you can give back, it says Southwest Virginia on it,
Yep.
Ronald
Yeah,
McDonald
if
House.
you
So you
look
know who supports it.
Yeah, if you look at the little like canister, that's you can put your
Right.
change in. You can read, and it'll tell you which.
Now, if we
one,
go
so.
to a McDonald's and we say, "Hey, do you support Ronald McDonald House, Southwest Virginia?" They probably would.
Yeah,
They'd know that.
they'd know,
Yeah.
so, and-
I don't want to eat at one that don't.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll be like, I'm going to the other one.
Well, we appreciate it. We do, and
Well, I really
they all
appreciate
go
you.
to support a Ronald McDonald House.
Right,
So.
right. So I can't be picky, but we love our people
Yeah.
nationwide, but we love our people here too.
Yeah.
So
Support local.
support local. That's what it's all
about.
about. It's what it's all about.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you,
sure.
Montana.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciate
Miss
it.
Montana, do you know how to say, y'all be real and come on back in Japan?
Oh
God,
man,
huh? I don't know how you would say that.
maybe something close.
Close.
Is it be real? You got be real in Japanese?
Be
You know that?
real.
Do you know that
I
one?
don't know if there's like a translation.
Or
for
y'all
that.
come
Or
on
it's
back.
a name.
Has some-
It's a
has the
name.
feeling,
So
yeah.
it's a name. So the be real
Or
would
just
have to
come on
be
back.
real. Come back.
Come on back. That's Southern right there. Y'all,
That's really
They don't
southern.
have that y'all back there.
Y'all, come
Anyways.
on, come on back. Come
Y'all
on back.
be real, come on back.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Montana.
I'll have to look it up, and if I find
Thank
some
you.
translation, I'll let you
all
know.
right. Thank you.
But y'all be real and come on back.
Come on back.
Come on back.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.